Outer Wilds began as a student project in 2011. I first saw it at Indiecade in 2013, and the quirky space mystery game that I described to the devs as like Myst in space was in the back of my mind for years. When I finally got a chance to play it, I fell in love. Outer Wilds lived up to the lengthy build-up, and then some. You are a fresh member of the titular Outer Wilds Ventures, a scientific space exploration program founded by a ragtag group of explorers on a planet called Timberhearth. At the outset, the game begins like many others. You are given a simple task, and a path leads you through a few tutorial areas. Here you'll learn the all-important basics of how to fly a ship, though you likely won't be very good at it for a while. How to use your signal scope to listen for sounds in the depths of space. How to move around in zero gravity. And, if you're paying attention, what your scout can be really helpful with. You then meet a couple of your fellow astronauts and they give you a device to translate Nomai writing. The Nomai are an ancient race that inhabited the solar system before your people, and little is known about them besides they were very active on multiple planets, and they were clearly up to something. As the first member of Outer Wilds Ventures to wield a translator, you are in the very unique position to finally understand what the Nomai were saying to each other, and your colleagues are very excited to learn more about your home system. Then something strange happens. A previously inert Nomai statue opens its eyes and blasts you with radiant light. The real Outer Wilds starts here. Up to this point, you could be forgiven for assuming that Outer Wilds would be a straightforward space narrative, one that will lead you through certain zones or planets in a certain order to make sure you get the story in a linear fashion. You'd be wrong. You can now take off in your own private space shuttle and go wherever you want, exploring the many strange and intricate planets in any order, gleaning the story in any order, solving mysteries in nearly any order. And the experience doesn't suffer for that freedom, it is bolstered by it. Outer Wilds is a beautiful and thoughtful game, and its many successes begin right from the outset, achieving something that I wish happened more often in games. This is a game where the player's interests and curiosities are perfectly matched by their in-game counterpart. You, as a player, are curious to find out what is going on in the star system. What happened to the Nomai? What's the deal with these planets? What was that bright light and why did I just die? The main character, and the other astronauts you work with, all want to know the same things. And as you learn more, your character acts like they know more, often referencing things that you've seen and done to other characters, much in the same way I was talking to my friend, who had already beaten the game, about my own experiences. This basic premise might not seem like a big deal, but it sets up one of the things I love most about Outer Wilds. It respects you as a player. This is an almost entirely knowledge-based game. There are no key cards to find, no upgrades, just you and what you know. You learn a new concept, and you feel the game open up to you in a surprising new way. But the game doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't overtly worry that you might miss something. It's not concerned with you getting frustrated, because giving you the answers would be robbing you of the joy of revelation. I've spoken with more than one person who bounced off this game entirely, and that's totally okay. I would just say that this is a game that doesn't want you to rush, where death, though perhaps frustrating, is not a problem. In fact, death is a learning experience. Something didn't go the way you expected, you fell into a black hole or got crushed by sand. Oftentimes, deaths lead to new information. And if you're feeling stuck on a certain planet, you can always just go to another one and see what you can learn there. You may even find the answers you were looking for, buried somewhere you least expected them. When I was playing Outer Wilds, I would jump back and forth between planets left and right, because I was so hungry for knowledge, and every new tidbit opened up 8 new paths I wanted to explore. Something I read on Giant's Deep made me want to go to Brittle Hollow. Something I saw on Ember Twin made me crash into a comet. Something I saw on Dark Bramble made me never want to go to Dark Bramble ever again. I love lore-based storytelling in games, where the narrative feels participatory, but Outer Wilds manages to make long-dead lore feel warm and emotional instead of cold and distant. The mysteries layer together so effectively, and the narrative ties together so well with varying levels of intricacy depending on how many places you are able to visit, that I'm astonished this story can be told in a nonlinear fashion. To truly express my love for this game would mean to spoil it, and to spoil it would rob it of its magic. So I've tried to keep my descriptions and footage fairly vague. I'll just say that this game made me emotional in a way that few games have. And perhaps that's a personal thing for me. Maybe this game just speaks my particular philosophical language. But I hesitate to say any more than I already have, because I want you to have your own personal experience with Outer Wilds. This is a game meant to be explored on its own terms, driven by raw curiosity. So me gushing about specifics and excellent writing, lovely music, meticulous world design, impressive simulation, seemingly legit science, particularly sweet or terrifying moments and emotional beats would be a disservice, because then you would know all those specifics and wouldn't be surprised by them. But I needed to say something, because I just need you not to skip this game.